Hello, my strange and unusual friends. My name is Deadly Nightshade, and welcome to Freaky Stories. You may or may not have heard of these stories, but I promise you won't be bored. Our today's story is part 4 of Toby the Cat. Many years ago, back in the 90s to early 2000s, there was a girl named Rebecca. Her parents were divorced, and she absolutely despised her 2 step-parents. Her dad, Mr. Kindly, married this woman called Isabella Goldfish. And she was absolutely horrible to her. And she had 2 sons, a 10 and an 8-year-old, named Rod and Todd. And they were total and absolute brats. Now, she was always mean to Rebecca by calling her Cinderella, Cindy, and always had her cooking and cleaning and all the mess that they make. And her dad was very old-fashioned. He believed that women should always cook and clean and all that jazz, while men do the DIY and stuff like that. Very old-fashioned man. So she absolutely hated her stepmother, Isabella.
Cindy, get down here now! Cook and clean right now!
Every single day and night. And when she went to the weekends to her mother, Mrs. Kindly, she changed her name because she got married to this really horrible guy named Raimondo Toilet Bowl. Yeah, he's a total and absolute creep. This guy is such a creep. One time, Cindy went to the bathroom and he stood there right outside the door watching her through the glass going, And she goes, Dad, is that you? He goes, no. And he tried to open the door, but her mother showed up. She goes, Raimondo, where are you? Is there someone in the toilet? Yeah, unfortunately, said Raimondo. And Rebecca said, yes, I am. Oh, angry and you know what, like. So she got herself sorted and got out of there as quick as she could. Also, Raimondo likes to run up the stairs and try to barge in on Cindy whenever she gets out of the shower and then runs back down the stairs like a creep because, you know, he is a creep. Luckily for her, she only has to put up with him in the weekends because she spends most of her time with her dad and that horrible wife of his, Isabella. But she has to spend the weekends with her mom and that horrible Raimondo. And he is such a creep. Like this guy, right? He doesn't talk, he screams. Go on, you good thing. Oh, you muppet, you're such a blonker. Oh! And then he'd be sitting there swearing. Even when it's not football, he'd be doing that with, like, Death in Paradise, Chase, whatever. He just doesn't know how to talk. He just screams every time. And he's so rude. Say you're in a conversation, and he'd rudely interrupt every single time. He's just such an unpleasant creep. Yeah, Rebecca really, really hates him. But the only good thing she had was Toby the cat. Her pet cat that her mother and father bought her when she was a little girl. They got Toby for her 10th birthday when they were still, married and all that jazz. And she absolutely adored Toby. He was her best pal. No matter where she went, she always took Toby with her to her dad's house or her mum's house. See, back then, you couldn't pick which parent you wanted until you were 18. I know, it's a really stupid rule, but that's how it was back in my day. So, anyways, Raimondo absolutely hated Toby. One day, Toby went missing, and Rebecca went looking for him. With a wanted poster saying, have you seen my cat? Have you seen my cat? I miss Toby. Where's Toby? Mom, I haven't seen Toby in days. Oh, he's just a cat. Cats do that all the time. Right, Raimondo? Yeah. They do. Go on, you good thing! Oh! As he was watching the football. Little did Rebecca know, Raimondo knew damn well where Toby was. You see, Raimondo had this horrible habit of gambling. He put Toby in a cat fighting rig. It's one of those illegal cruelty to animal fighting matches that they do, where they have another cat fight another cat for money. Which cat wins, and the winner would get the money. Because they bet that cat would beat the other cat, like in boxing. That's where poor Toby was at. So every day, when no one was around, in his mate's place, he'd have Toby fighting a bunch of other cats. And he'd also win most of the time. One day, he didn't win. He got badly hurt. And he's thinking, oh shit, what am I going to do? I can't take him to the vets. If I take him to the vets, they'll know what happened to him. I have to get rid of him. So he picked him up, put him in a cat case, drove him up in the middle of the mountains, let him out onto the road, and he was thinking, what should I do? I can't take him to the vet. I'll have him to go into jail because animal abuse is against the law, and they'll all know what I did, and my wife would divorce me. I won't have my money. Oh, I know. I'll get my car. I'll drive up a bit, and then I'll run him over. And everyone will think it's just roadkill. And no one will be the wiser, because cats die on the road all the time. So that's what he did. He got into his car. He drove up a good bit, and went as quick as he could, and ran poor Toby over. Poor Toby didn't stand a chance. He was just dead. Raimundo absolutely destroyed poor Toby. Why? Because he was an evil, sick man. And poor Rebecca had no idea what happened to poor Toby, and neither did her mother. Rebecca mainly stayed with her mom and with her dad in her stepmom's house, and barely went to see her mom and her horrible husband Raimundo. And I can't blame her. The guy is a creep. What happened was, when she turned 18, she stopped going to both her parents and stayed with her grandmother. When she died, her grandmother gave her the house, because she too didn't like Isabella or Raimundo at all, and she was super mega disappointed with her son. And, well, their marriages didn't last long anyways. What happened was, Mrs. Toilet Bowl, Rebecca's mom, found out that Raimundo was paying for certain women's attention, and one of them left a bra in her bed. So she found out what he was doing and kicked him out of the house. And her dad, well, he couldn't stand Isabella's and her disgusting kids anymore. So he kicked him out of the house and got a divorce. So basically both her parents got a divorce from the step-parents. Yeah, it wasn't pretty. Because Isabella was just disgusting, like total hoarder, disgusting, you know what I mean? And her sons are absolute troublemakers. They're always getting into trouble with the law, getting involved in gangs, selling certain substance that Miss YouTube wouldn't want me to mention. You know, stuff like that. So in the end, both her parents got divorced from her horrible step-parents. And Rebecca grew up to be a famous YouTuber. And she got a new cat. She got 2 new cats, actually. One that was a black cat, and one that was a tabby cat. She named the tabby cat Toby Jr., and she named the black cat Luna. The end. Alrighty, continuation of part 4 of Toby the Cat. This is Pirate Toby, and his final and last life. Now, this Toby was a sea cat, and he was on a sea ship. And his captain, his owner, was a very, 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 very horrible, evil man. He would plunder, steal, kidnap, and sell people on the dark web. He'd steal their ships, sell them on the dark web. He'd kidnap people, sell them on the dark web, either as slaves and worse. He was horrible to his crew, and his crewmates really hated him. And I can't blame them. He was so horrible to them. For an example, one of them was mopping the poop deck, which is kind of funny to say, but that's not the point. The point is, he was mopping up the poop deck, and he screamed and going, "Arr, you missed a spot, you scum!" And then kicked his head in the bucket. Why, I oughta...
What'd you say?
Nothing, Captain, nothing.
That's what I thought. Arr.
And he'd always go into the back of his office, that part of the deck where the captain always hangs out. The captain's quarters, I think it's called. And he always counted his money, but he was always nice to Toby the cat. Now this Toby is much older. He's got an eye patch, a wooden leg, and he's very, very old. He's had him since he was a child, all the way to his 20s to 30s. And he was always nice to the good old Toby. In fact, Toby's the only thing on the ship that's actually very nice. He kept the ship mouse-free and rat-free for years. And he was just your typical normal cat. One day, they were stealing and robbing the ship and kidnapping people. And the captain was so full of himself, he goes, "Arr! Arr! Yeah! Nothing could go wrong now!" Boy, was he wrong. He was very, very wrong. For an example, after he sold the people to the dark web, the storm started to come in, and the waves started to go crazy, going all shh, the thunder and the lightning, and the crew were all like, Captain, it's getting worse. We're gonna have to hunker down or something. It's getting crazy out here."
Ah, nonsense! It's only a breeze!
It's a thunderstorm! The only thing that'll make it worse is a kraken. So shut up and get back to work. Yes, Captain. And his crewmates were freaking out, tying themselves to the pole and praying to God, like, please don't let me die. I don't want to die. Now, unaware to them, there was a kraken under their ship, slowly swimming up to the ship, and it grabbed the ship with all of its tentacles, smashing and bashing everything around them and grabbing each of the sailors, and they were screaming for their lives, help us, Captain! Ah! Getting eaten by the kraken like cakes. Ah, you damn kraken! I'll get you! Come and fight me! The kraken just looked at him and said, you sad little man. And he just went and broke the ship in half. Then he grabbed the captain and stuck him in his mouth and chewed him up good and proper like chewing gum. And that was the end of the captain. Now poor Toby, God bless his soul, he didn't survive the whole thing. He drowned at sea. And unfortunately, that was his final life. The end.